Hello everyone, welcome to our presentation. Now we're gonna explain about children literature in anthology. The title is a collection of European short stories. There are countries is from England, American, Scotland, and French. This anthology was submitted to fulfill of the requirement for final test of children literature of English Department, Faculty of Literature, Universitas Pamulang. This book entitled A Collection of European Short Stories. This book was proposed for educational only. The writer realized that the book is imperfect. Nevertheless, the writer is open to receive additional information, suggestion, critics, and comments to improve the quality of this book. And this book would be useful to increase the reading interest level, especially for short story. This book might be useful for increasing reading interest, particularly for short stories. This book also provides many shows used to create the story, and the design that we use is proven to be free of copyright and consists of photos used in this book. An anthology that, that takes you on a captivating journey through the richness and diversity of European literature, from the introspective tales of Russian literature to the whimsical narratives of French surrealism. This compilation showcases the creativity, depth, and imagination of European storytellers past and present. Within this page, you will encounter stories that engage your sense and provoke contemplation. Each tale is a microcosm exploring universal themes such as love, loss, identity, and the human condition. Through concise storytelling, these narratives leave a lasting impression of readers. This anthology invites you to discover new voices, hidden gems, and timeless masterpieces that have shaped Europe's culture landscape. Whether you are an avid reader or seeking to broaden your literary horizons, a collection of European short stories offers an enlightening and enjoyable literary voyage. We express our gratitude to the esteemed authors whose works grace this page, and to the readers whose curiosity and appreciation for literature have made this anthology possible. Prepare to immerse yourself in the world of European short stories as you delve into a collection of European short stories. Let your imagination soar and enjoy the celebration of European literature. Okay, and now let's move to the story.
King Arthur. King Arthur encounters a dangerous situation when he meets a mysterious knight in the forest. The knight challenges him to find out what women want or face be hiding. King Arthur shares his predicament with his nephew Sir Gawain, who suggests they ask women throughout the kingdom for the answer. King Arthur is skeptical but decides to seek inspiration in the forest. There he meets an ugly woman who claims to know the answer but asks to marry Sir Gawain as a reward. King Arthur returns to the castle to discuss the woman's offer with Gawain, hoping he will agree to save his uncle's life. King Arthur's faith in Gawain is confirmed when his nephew agrees to marry the woman in the forest. The woman reveals to Arthur that women desire sovereignty and the right to make their own decisions. Arthur shares this answer with Sir Groomer and wins the challenge. However, he feels hollow knowing the Gawain and Dame Ragnell's wedding will proceed. On their wedding night, Gawain treats Ragnell as the most beautiful woman, and miraculously she becomes beautiful. Ragnhild explains that she was under a spell and could only be beautiful for half the day. Gawain promises her sovereignty and the right to choose when she wants to be beautiful, breaking the curse and restoring her beauty permanently. Princess Kate Princess Kate and her sister flee the palace to try to break an evil spell. Once upon a time, there was a king whose wife died in childbirth, leaving behind a daughter named Princess Annie. The king remarried to a woman named Kate, who had a daughter named Princess Kate. The new queen became jealous of Annie's beauty and sought the help of magical henwife to spoil her looks. The queen then asked Annie to accompany her to the hen house one morning. Princess Anne and Queen visit henwife's cottage. Anne gets a sheep's head stuck on her own head. They seek help at castle. Kate agrees to nurse sick prince in exchange for a pick of silver. She discovers Prince's secret fairy ball and overhears how to cure Anne. Kate collects a fairy wand and barley soap. She cures Anne and the prince, so they all live happily after ever.
The Girl Who Changed Her Fate is a story about a widow who has three daughters. One day, an old woman who is known to understand such going on comes to the widow's house and tells her that one of her daughters must be ill-fated, and as long as she stays in the house, no suitors will come to call. The old woman tells the widow that the one who sleeps on both of her hands is the one who is ill-fated. The widow finds out that her youngest daughter, Elena, is the one who is ill-fated and tell her about the old woman's word. Elena decides to leave and find her fate, as the queen advised her to do. Elena travels far and wide and finally finds her fate, who gives her a silk ball and tells her that if anyone wants the silk thread, she must demand its weight in gold. Elena returns to the castle and a young man hears about her silk thread and asks to buy it for his sister's wedding. Elena says that in exchange she must have its weight in gold. Finally, the young man steps on the scale himself and it balanced perfectly. The two of them laughed and they are soon married. Bruce and the Spider is a story about a king of Scotland named Robert Bruce. He had to be both brave and wise for the time in which he lived. He had fought a battle with his enemy, the English, and was defeated. He fled from the field of battle and took refuge in a lonely barn. As he lay there, he saw a spider over his head making a web. The spider tried to swing itself from one beam to another, but failed again and again. 6 times the spider tried and failed. "Poor thing," said Bruce. "You don't know what it is to fail." But the spider tried again and success the 7th time. Bruce took courage from the spider perseverance and went out to fight his enemies again. He fought many battles, and at last he won freedom for his people. The story teaches us that we should never give up trying even if we fail many times.
The narrator of the story defends their sanity despite being ill. They explain their obsession with an old man's future like eye and their decision to kill him. For 7 nights, they enter the old man's room but fail due to the closed eye. On the 8th night, the old man senses their presence and the narrator reveals the eye with a small light. They hear the beating of the old man's heart, growing louder and fueling their anger. Finally, they rush in, suffocate the old man, and dispose of his body. When the police arrive, the narrator convinces them of their innocence until they hear the sound of the beating heart and confess to the murder. Madness and obsession drive the narrator to commit the gruesome murder, haunted by the sound of the old man's beating heart.
The Bat by Anton Chekhov is a powerful short story exploring the clash between materialism and a meaningful life. It follows a young banker who bet 2 million rubles that he can survive in total isolation for 15 years. As time goes by, both the banker and the owner of the bet come to realize the emptiness of wealth and the true value of life. In the end, the banker chooses to stay in isolation, understanding the importance of true values, while the owner regrets his greed. These thought-provoking stories urge readers to contemplate the meaning of life amidst the allure of material possession. Okay, thank you for the time. I hope this presentation useful for us. Bye. Have a nice day.